How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Brock of the Buzzer podcast postgame report number 4. Unfortunately, the Cavs did lose tonight as Pascal Siakam led the Raptors past the Cavs. Tonight was without question the biggest game of the season for the Cavs, leading just a game over their opponent this evening, the Raptors. But thanks to contributions, from the Raptor bench, responding to Cavs runs and the three-point shot, the Raptors were able to pull away from the Cavs late to take a 117-104 victory. The stats for the victorious Toronto Raptors. Pascal Siakam led all scorers with 35 points and 6 assists. Chris Boucher off the Raptor bench had 17 points and 8 rebounds. OG Anunoby, making his return from a finger injury, was solid tonight. He had 14 points and 3 assists. Scotty Barnes had 11 points and 6 rebounds. Fred VanVleet had a relatively quiet night, just 10 points and 8 assists. And Precious Achiuwa off the Toronto bench had 10 points and 4 rebounds. And for the unfortunate Cleveland Cavaliers, Lauri Markkanen had a very solid night once again for Cleveland as he led the way with 20 points and 5 rebounds. Darius Garland posts yet another double-double. He had 18 points and 10 assists. Lamar Stevens, who has been great over the last 3 games, he had 16 points and 6 rebounds. Kevin Love, who surprisingly got the start this evening in place of Stevens, he had 12 points and 10 rebounds. Mr. Consistency for Kevin Love. His strong season continues. Evan Mobley had a relatively quiet night. He had 11 points and 8 rebounds. And Caris LeVert has yet another subpar night off the Cavs bench. He has 11 points in total. More on LeVert in just a second. But the Cavs now embark on a 3-game homestand, and it starts with a very critical game Saturday evening against the Chicago Bulls at 8 p.m. Eastern. Note that start time, and you can catch that game on Bally Sports Ohio and NBA League Pass. Tonight's takeaways. Playing without Jared Allen is becoming more noticeable. The Cavs defense has dropped off a lot since the Cavs All-Star big has been out of the lineup and reared its ugly head again with the lack of switchability with Love instead of Allen. It allowed Siakam in particular to get on a roll, and he never cooled off, unfortunately, for the Cavaliers. I say that because I really believe Jared Allen would have had Pascal Siakam tonight if he were to be in the lineup. Not Lauri Markkanen, not Kevin Love, and even Evan Mobley as well, because Allen could guard, 4s, 3s. We've seen him on 1s and 2s as well at times, and he's done a phenomenal job, and I guarantee you that Siakam doesn't go off for 35 points and 6 assists if Allen is in that Cavs lineup. Secondly, the LeVert bench experiment is not working. LeVert coming off the bench seems to have put him out of sync right off the get-go, due to the fact that he is not in a rhythm, and LeVert is a rhythm type player. And without Jared Allen, the Cavs need another scoring punch, and there is no time better than now to make that change in that regard. And for people saying, oh yeah, LeVert's just trying to fit into a new system. LeVert's dealing with a foot injury. Everybody's injured at this point of the season. Enough with the damn excuses. I think it's time for JB Bickerstaff to be a desperate man, because you're trying to avoid the play-in tournament, the Brooklyn Nets in particular, as much as possible. And with this loss, the Cavs now are still in 6th place, but they are now tied with the Toronto Raptors in the record column. So, I say this. Enough with the excuses when it comes to Karis LeVert. Everyone knows what LeVert can bring on a nightly basis. And this is not him. And you could say, oh yeah, he's, fitting into a new system, or he's dealing with an injury. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Enough of that. We've got 10 games to go. We gotta stay in the 6th position, or the Cavs could be in some serious trouble as we approach the start of the NBA playoffs. So again, JB Bickerstaff, make me happy and give LeVert one shot on Saturday in particular, especially going up against the Chicago Bulls, where you need a scoring punch because the Bulls can score. Even without DeMar DeRozan, they could still score. With that said, yes, does it downsize your lineup a little bit? Yes. But LeVert's looked good defensively, so I don't think you're losing anything defensively. I think the more important thing here is this. If you start LeVert, he's going to get into a rhythm and become the Karis LeVert we're all very familiar with. So again, it's time for JB Bickerstaff to be a desperate man. It's just that time, JB. You gotta make this move, because the Karis LeVert bench experiment isn't working. And finally, being beat in the small areas. The Raptors got more turnovers, fast break points, and threes than the Cavs tonight, which is why they were able to take this one. As simple as that. The Cavs' defense wasn't horrible. The Cavs' offense wasn't horrible. Toronto's defense was phenomenal tonight. But I think those 3 areas that I just talked about there made all the difference this evening. And finally, I want the Cavs to come out pissed off on Saturday night. It's time to make a statement. You're at home in front of a crowd that has had your back this entire season, that you've played extremely well in front of this season. It's time to man up and say, we're the 6th best team in the Eastern Conference. And I think the Cavs are the 6th best team in the Eastern Conference. They've proven that. And for those people saying, oh yeah, even if the Cavs make the playoffs, blah, 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 it's gravy, this and that. This is not gravy for the Cavs. This is where they expected to be this year. Just listening to JB, Colby Altman, and everybody associated with the franchise. This is where the Cavs, inside the organization, expected to be this year. They are a lot like the Memphis Grizzlies of last year. And again, this is not gravy for the Cavs because they've earned this spot. Now they just have to keep it. And that'll do it for tonight's podcast postgame report on tonight's unfortunate loss by the Cleveland Cavaliers, losing to the Raptors 117-104. You can find all of my social medias in a Linktree link below. And please like the video, share the video, and subscribe. I'll see you all on the next one.